Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, is my guest on the phone today. Hi, Ed. How are you, sir?
Hey, doing great, Seth. Thanks for having me on.
Yep, definitely. Ed, I got a bone to pick with you, my friend. We were supposed to have above average temperatures here, and I don't know, like maybe I'm overshooting what my expectation is of above average temperatures, but it hasn't felt above average the last few days here in Illinois. I mean, yesterday was kind of nice, but there was a breeze. It was cold over the weekend. What can you tell me?
Yeah, we still are above normal for the month. I mean, that's not much consolation when it's cold right now, but we're 7.5 degrees above normal for the month so far, which is pretty good. 62 yesterday was definitely nice, but the wind was definitely making it feel a little cooler. But yeah, we're gonna end the month here on the downswing temperature wise for the most part. Probably average or just slightly below average, or normal, for the rest of the month, I think what we're going to look at.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to March so far, Ed, we started out great. Last week was just fantastic. I went to 3 baseball games. Weather was great. It was a perfect week to kind of kick off the spring sports season here in Illinois, and then the bottom kind of fell out. What has March's averages kind of told us here about where we're at? What can you tell us there?
Yeah, we're kind of now in a pattern. We had plenty of heat from the plains, I should say. Last week each day of the week was 67, 70, 74, 69. I mean, boom, boom, boom. You're 20 degrees above normal for 4 days straight, which usually doesn't happen in March. But we're getting into a pattern where they're going to have multiple storm systems kind of just track across the Midwest here. So it's going to bring just repeated little pushes of cold air. We really can't warm up a lot. It's going to kind of be a yo-yo. We'll be 60, 40, 60, 40. I mean, it's going to, and some rain will come with that. Maybe even a little snow, but hopefully that stays north of us. But yeah, the rest of the month's just going to be a little more active. And maybe a few thunderstorms there next week, Monday night or so.
Yeah. We had a good stretch of rain there, Ed, late last week, but it felt like most of it kind of went to the south. At least the significant stuff went to the south. There was a little bit to the north as well. Just how about precipitation so far for this month?
Yeah, right now we're running just slightly above normal, just 1/10 of an inch above normal with a 1.7 inches of rain so far, which is, going to keep the ground, from getting into that drought condition. So we're just saturating just enough. But yeah, we missed out on some heavier rains, as you mentioned. The plots show, about 1.5 to 2 inches fell north of Peoria, and then southern Illinois had that real big storm system go through, where several tornadoes developed out of that. So, we just kind of right in the middle, and we're in the middle of the road for precip too with that.
Are we, getting dry? I know our station owner told us he's been talking to some folks in ag about, the planting season and everything, and a few of them telling him, hey, we could use some rain. What's the situation with kind of soil moisture and things of that nature there, Ed?
Yeah, right now DeWitt County is running without any indication of drought for that area. Actually, from DeWitt County and north is pretty much in no drought intensity at all. South and west, that's where you're getting into the abnormally dry and even a little bit of moderate drought. Just head to Rushville and then East St. Louis and all the way down to southern Illinois. So far, as far as the U.S. Drought Monitor is concerned, DeWitt's okay, but you're teetering on getting that drought condition setting up. The soil moisture looks pretty good actually. When I'm looking across the board, the 4-inch, 8-inch, and the 20-inch levels locally here are in the middle to upper 80th percentile. So, it doesn't look too bad. So we're actually holding our own, and a little bit of rain definitely would help as we head into spring, though. I bet for the farmers know best, so they can tell what their fields are doing. This is a Springfield monitor here. This one.
Yeah.
Then there's one over in Champaign that we can monitor as well, and that's just a little below normal, just in the 20th percentile, just below, running a little low at the 8-inch level there. So, yeah, rain is definitely going to be something we could use as we head into the spring planting.
Well, any rain coming our way, Ed? What's the upcoming forecast telling us about potential rainfall?
Funny you should mention. Yeah, we do have several systems coming through. The first one is going to be a little rain on Friday. For the DeWitt County area, it's probably in the 1/10 to maybe 2/10 of an inch, but most areas will probably only see about a 1/10 of an inch of rain out of that. It's kind of a quick in and out. Then there's going to be more significant rain coming in on Monday night, and then lingering even Tuesday morning possibly. And that one's going to be about an inch of rain. So that'll be, pushing us above normal for the rest of the month, potentially. Even further on beyond that, I'm looking at another storm system rain coming for March 29th, Friday the 29th into the 30th, ending with potentially some snow Saturday morning, March
Ed,
30th.
Come on, man. What in the world?
I know. That is not going to be a good day for outdoor baseball on Saturday the 30th. You can just write that day off right now because it's going to be northwest winds about 30 miles an hour, snow flurries, or maybe even a little light accumulation. And but that's one model. I mean, that's way out there at 230 hours. So that's the fantasy forecast of this particular one model. But there's a storm coming that weekend, more than likely.
Yeah, very good. Well, I guess we'll keep that in mind. So sounds like kind of, up and down and wet to finish out the month of March. Is that a fair assessment there, Ed?
That's it, yeah. Just every 3 days or so, 3-4 days, we're going to get a little dose of rain. And the most significant rainfall looks to be that, like Monday night, Tuesday, next week. And then we'll see what happens on the 30th of March. I mean, I'll be talking to you, maybe before that or just slightly after that for our next update. But so it's definitely going to have some rain and precipitation hitting the ground here.
All right. Well, I guess we can deal with it. But no, Ed, you know what? It's funny you said that about the snow. I was kind of curious because we had that hard freeze. I don't know if there was a hard freeze the other night because when I went out in the morning, I didn't even think about it. But I remembered there was that freeze warning that got put out. Some folks to our south said they were in the clear. I don't know if it ended up getting a hard freeze to the north, but the question came up in a conversation I had is, well, was that the last hard freeze of the season? Have we seen the last of the snow? So how about those two things? I know you did just mention the snow, possibly for Easter weekend, which would be fitting. But anyways, how about the snow and the freezes? Have we seen the last of them, or are we on the tail end of them? What can you tell us?
Yeah, we did have two mid-20s for lows on the morning of the 18th and the morning of the 19th. It was 24 degrees on the 18th, which is definitely hard freeze. Hard freeze is defined as 28 or below for 3 hours, and we hit that both mornings. We're not out of the woods yet. Just even looking at this pattern, we could certainly see another freeze. Maybe not a hard freeze, but the later we get in March, the hard freeze potential diminishes with each passing day. And I'm not seeing hard freeze. Although potentially Saturday morning, there's just enough cold air coming in behind that Friday system that we might creep down around 28 that night. So we'll have to watch that one. But then beyond that, it looks like we'll be just mainly hitting our lows just slightly below freezing for shorter periods of time later in the night.
Very good. Well, when it comes to, finishing out March, you mentioned up and down and then going to be kind of wet. Again, Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, is our guest here for the morning. Let's get into April, Ed. What are outlooks telling us about the month of April here in Illinois?
All right, April. Yeah, we're seeing, let me bring up the outlooks here. Yeah, the trends are towards above normal temperatures, so that bodes well. Once we get this cold weather out of here at the end of March, I think we'll start heading towards temperatures riding more towards the middle to upper 50s instead of the middle to upper 40s. Averages in April look to climb from the upper 50s. For the start of the month for highs, and then actually by the end of April, average high is 70 on the 30th. So if we can creep above normal in that kind of condition, we'll be in the 60s more than not for a good part of April, it looks like.
When it comes to, again, we've talked about that above normal temperature trend there, Ed. What are the averages for the first part of April? What do they show us as we get to the end of the month? How about April and its average temperatures?
Yeah, we don't see below freezing average lows at all through the whole month of April. By the beginning of April, the normal low is 36, and then by the end of the month, the normal low is 46. So we see a significant climb there. And then for highs, 59 is the average high on the 1st of April, and then 70 is the average high on the 30th. So that's an 11-degree swing in the highs and 10-degree swing in the lows, because we're seeing a lot more of the increase of the sun angle and providing us more and more of that energy. So, we're definitely going to be warming up, and it'll be noticeably, spring-like through a good portion of April, it looks like at this point. And then precipitation-wise, 4 1/4 inches of rain. So that's our first month where we really start to see more significant rainfalls as the storm systems start rolling in.
April showers bring May flowers, as they say. So what are the precipitation trends telling us? Will we get to that 4.5-inch mark, you think, Ed? What do you think?
Yeah, we're seeing the signal of above normal precipitation trends for at least the eastern half of Illinois. So we're probably expecting several storm systems coming out of the plains, maybe going up the Ohio River Valley and giving us that much needed rain, or the rainfall that'll supply the soil moisture for the spring planting and getting those seeds growing.
Very good. So, Ed, I'll tell you what, let's take a break here. Let's come back and talk about, kind of the outlooks for the summertime as we get into May, June, July. And I know that last time we spoke, it was above average temperatures for those months and all the way into the winter. Let's find out what the trends are after a break. In the meantime, where do folks go for all the data, details on the data we've talked about here this morning? Where do they find that?
Weather.gov/Lincoln.
Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, is my guest on the phone here for this morning. More to come with Ed on the WHOW Morning Show.
WHOW.
Or Farm Bureau membership.
Let's check the markets down. The RFD Radio Network. I'm Jim Taylor. Corn lower, beans higher, wheat trading lower. May corn down 3.5, 436. July corn down 3, 449 1/4. December new crop 471 1/4, down 2 pennies. May beans up 9, 1194 1/2. July beans up 8.5, 1208 3/4. November new crop 1191 1/2, up 10 1/4. May Chicago wheat 540, down 12 1/2. July wheat down 12 1/4, 555. May bean meal 336.50, that's up 260. May bean oil up 45 cents, 48.59. Livestock market at this hour. March feeders 250.92, up 1/4. April live cattle down 15 cents, 187.90. April lean hogs 85.77, down a nickel. Energy market at this hour. April crude oil 82.06, down $1.41. Jim Taylor on the RFD Radio Network.
This is your land, the land of opportunity. And nothing should stand in the way of your soybean fields from reaching their fullest potential. Liberty Herbicide from BASF provides the freedom to use across the majority of today's trade platforms, including Enlist E3 and XtendFlex. Plus, excellent weed control and greater application flexibility for unmatched convenience. Experience the freedom of Liberty Herbicide from BASF. Visit yourliberty-herbicide.com. Always read and follow label directions.
Allergy season is here, and our Warner Hospital and Health Services walk-in clinic inside our family medicine is here to help. No appointment, no problem. Find out more by clicking our icon at DeWittDailyNews.com.
For the latest in Central Illinois agricultural news, visit IllinoisFarmRadio.com. Get updated information on markets, weather, ag news, local interviews with NAFB farm broadcaster Jared White, and much, much more. All at IllinoisFarmRadio.com.
Your friend in Central Illinois, WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube. It's brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, is my guest on the phone here for this morning. And Ed, I wanted to circle back to the conversation we concluded with in the first segment, talking about just the April weather there and what we're anticipating. You mentioned to us that the next 10 days is going to be kind of up and down in terms of temperatures with kind of some wet days ahead. But you noted to me, if we can survive the next 10 days and it's, weather at least, volatility, we could be in store for some nicer stuff getting into April. Tell us why. What do you anticipate?
Yeah, it looks like we're going to get into a pattern where we're going to have some high pressure settle in, and actually a warm high pressure, like from the plains, not from Canada. So the first 2 weeks of April right now are showing 60 to 70% chance of above normal temperatures. So that's going to really kind of front load our months, just kind of like March was really. The first 2 weeks we've had, we were almost 11 degrees above normal for the first half of March. That looks like we're setting up the same kind of pattern for April. And then, we're going to probably have a couple of days of rain, but nothing's excessive. We're only in the 33 to 40 percentile chance of above normal precip. So, nothing significant there. But, yeah, that warmth is going to feel good that first half of April.
Very good, Ed. And, we were talking also about, those April showers. I mean, we're anticipating, 4.25, 4.5 inches plus of rain in April. But you noted to me you'll get a lot of that rain maybe in just a system or two of thunderstorms. How about just what we see in terms of rainfall in April and where most of that comes from?
Yeah, we typically start to see, that as the jet stream pattern starts shifting, and allowing more warm air coming across, we'll have thunderstorm activity ramp up in April. Therefore, we'll get, an inch and a half or maybe even 2 inches out of a system. And then we'll have a break, maybe, a week or so, or just minor little, a couple hundreds here and there. And then another one of, inch and a half, 2 inches. So a lot of that 4 inches can come in just a couple of events when these thunderstorms start ramping up as we head through April.
Very good. So, well, Ed, with all that said, again, anything on April that we haven't touched on you want to put out there for us? What? I guess daylight. Let's call it daylight. I venture a guess we start, the days are shorter in terms of daylight by the end of the month. I'm sure they're very long. Can you tell us much about how much daylight we start with and end with in April?
Yeah, it looks like I think we gain... Oh, boy, let me bring that up here. I believe we gain about 45 minutes to an hour of light just in April. I don't have it right in front of me here. I'm going to bring up a sunshine.
I know I'm kind of throwing you for a curveball here. I apologize for that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, it's definitely at least, because I think we start gaining almost 2 minutes a day, so... That's an hour, and some days are 2 minutes on sunset, 1 minute on sunrise. So I believe it's closer to hour and 15 minutes at least of additional sunshine we're going to get just in the month of April alone.
Easy enough. All right, Ed. So April, sounds like we could be in store for a pretty decent month, all things considered. Let's get into, again, the longer-term outlooks, Ed. We get into May, June, July, kind of start to transition to summer. What can you tell us about those months and what the outlooks have in store for us?
Yeah, the above normal temperatures are in there, April, May, June, and even May, June, July. So the bulk of the spring, we're seeing plenty of tendency towards above normal temperatures across the entire area here. As far as precipitation goes, there's equal chances of above or below normal precipitation for the spring. So it doesn't look like we're going to see any excessive flooding type situations. The above normal is kind of centered toward the East Coast and east of the Ohio River Valley. So we probably will maybe keep away from some of those drought conditions that can start to develop in your June, July time frame. But it looks above normal temperatures and probably beneficial rains periodically throughout the spring and even a good part of the summer, it appears, in these outlooks.
Yeah, so good weather for growing crops this year, it sounds like.
Yeah, really. I know flash drought can develop quickly. Especially since our 100-centimeter soil moisture is really pretty low still. So you've got that deep dryness, not, 100 centimeters, 39 inches or so. So that deep dryness is still there. If we get 2 to 3 weeks of really very dry conditions and windy, that can start to tip the balance toward flash drought. And, as I mentioned, we already do have, abnormally dry and moderate drought in western Illinois and southern Illinois. So it's not too far, just to our west and south. But seeing the above normal close by to the east, it gives me a feeling like, they're seeing storms nearby, just can't pinpoint them, and I think maybe we'll avoid that flash drought, but we always have to be wary of that and keep an eye on it.
Yeah. How about the precipitation levels for the outlooks? Are we, where are we at in terms of, above and below? Where do we trend at here in central Illinois for those outlooks?
Yeah, it's got us in the 33% of chance in each category, above, below, and near normal are just pegging right about there. We're as far as above normal precip, we may have just a couple of percentages toward that, maybe 35% towards above normal and maybe 31% towards below. So we're just right in the middle of the road there, which means we can see June precip is 4 inches, 4 1/10. July is almost 5 inches. What does May come out at? May is 4 1/4 there too. So, in those late spring and summer months, you're getting 4 to 5 inches of rain each month on average, and hopefully we can realize that as well.
Sure. All right. Very good. So, Ed, when it comes to the longer-term outlooks, late summer, early fall, what are we looking at? What are those longer-term outlooks telling us right now?
Sure. As we get into even the August, September, October, the entire lower 48, including Alaska, are all above normal temperatures. And we're in the 40th to 50th percentile of potential of above normal temperatures. Precip-wise, equal chances there. But, we're showing above normal from late summer all the way through early winter for temperatures, though. Precip-wise is middle of the road with equal chances, but that above normal temperature trend is going all the way into the winter season, when we're going to start to see the equatorial regions tip toward La Nina for next winter. So we'll see how that affects things.
Interesting.
But
yeah.
Well,
Ed, I look at the clock. I've got about a minute left with you. Anything on your, kind of on your desk? Anything of note from the Weather Service perspective worth talking about as we wrap up here today?
We wrapped up severe weather preparedness early in the month. We did have several tornadoes out of that event last week, and one of them went into Fulton County, just barely out of Warren County. That was about a 2-mile wide one near Avon, but there were 6 others in the southern part of the state. So it's still tornado season. Keep your weather awareness up, especially. We're not expecting severe weather Monday night, but there's going to be a few storms that could develop, so you never know how strong those will get. We're going to keep an eye on that. But the rest of the month and April, we're heading into our peak severe weather season, where we have our most reports of severe weather, hail, wind, and tornadoes. So just always be weather aware and have that weather radio ready to go.
Very good. Good stuff, Ed. Ed Shimon, National Weather Service in Lincoln, our guest. Network News is now.
The Big 1520 WHOW Clinton, 92.3 FM W222 BG Clinton, 106.5 FM W293 DJ Normal Bloomington.
News